Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's your boy, Kato Namikaze. And as the title thumbnail suggests, this is What If Deku Stayed Quirkless, Part 1. And no, this is not going to be a what if with like a super buff or a super duper smart Izuku, alright? Deku basically. It's not going to be that, alright? I see that as unrealistic, and I will make a separate video one day explaining why I would not do that. But with that being said, everyone, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And with that being said, play my shit! Time for the background information. So as said, for this story to happen, we need to make a few changes to the story. No, this is not going to be a story where ultra buff Deku or 1000 IQ Deku. This Deku is going to be built differently. Number one, Izuku would focus building his body along with his intelligence, but this only to have a slightly above average stats, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to be just specialized in that. No, he's just building it to be above average, you know what I'm saying? To just be a little bit better than his peers. Izuku would actually try to specialize in the manipulation of others, mechanics, weaponry uses, and even analyzation. Lastly, Izuku would actually sign up for a hero cram school. What's a hero cram school? It's something I made up, but I'll explain its functions. The functions of this school is to enable the top 100 heroes to interact with the new generation and teach them as well as share their philosophy. So basically it's like UA, but more of a smaller thing, less work. When Izuku applies, he does get in, as he does have physical and mental tests. The mental test is just a regular test that is sorta hard, but Izuku does pass without an issue, and because he built up his physical body, he's able to pass the physical test. But what is the physical test? The test has him going hand to hand with a hero. He does get his ass handed to him, but he did show enough skill and finesse to be passable. By the way, Izuku would be in the school for his whole middle school years, meaning from when Izuku is 11 to when he becomes 14. Also, during his cram school years, he wouldn't be bullied, as he would actually make a friend within a girl named Mei Hatsume. You see, Mei Hatsume would take an interest in Izuku, as he would be a pretty good guinea pig. But Izuku would notice this and actually make suggestions to Mei, so they become friends through their interest of mechanics, and how they'll be able to boost someone's capabilities through technology. Through this, Izuku would actually be able to work with Mei and make some nanotech gloves, ankle bracelets, and goggles with built-in earphones. The gloves would allow him to use superhuman levels of strength, even going as far as to allow him to pick up and crush a car. The ankle bracelets would allow him to, use superhuman speeds and jumping power. He can go about 45 miles per hour, and he could jump around 5 stories at full power. The goggles with built-in earphones allow him to, more superhuman feats. It allows him to see objects clearly from 75 miles away. With the built-in earphones, it actually enhances his hearing by 20 folds, and of course can be used as communication devices, but wouldn't need a lot of energy. Okay, sorry. But wouldn't it need a lot of energy, you're wondering? Actually, the technology fuses itself with Izuku's body, initially becoming one with him, and it stimulates his body's functions or cells. But whenever Izuku uses it, the nanotechnology would take half of the electrical energy that his body produces. And this is just for the activation. For all that doesn't know, this would be around 75 watts of electricity, and he can only use it for 3 hours a day, but 30 minutes a session. The maximum he can push himself would be 5 hours, but then he would pass out and be out of commission for 2 days. Not really pass out for 2 days, everyone, more like he'd pass out for a little bit or be very exhausted, but he would not be able to use the technology or activate it again for 2 days because he'd be way too exhausted and had to recover most of his energy again. Of course, I bet you're wondering, why doesn't Mei use it? The thing is, Mei doesn't have any interest in becoming a frontline hero, and the two will stay as best friends and they made a personal agreement. If Izuku manages to become a top hero, he has to hire her to be his support gear maker. Now, for Izuku's regular school life, he surprisingly does not get bullied by Bakugo. This is due to him having more charisma. When Bakugo originally tried to bully Izuku, they got into a fist fight, with both being suspended. As y'all know, when kids fight each other, they build a bit of respect for one another's skills. So Izuku would not be bullied. At the current moment, Izuku is 14. This would be the day that the sludge incident would occur. But things take a pretty big turn from the original. Izuku would actually have his ankle bracelets and goggles with him, as you guys know, with built-in earphones, on, as he wanted to practice more with it in his casual day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? Trying to build a bit more of a thing like Perfect Super Saiyan, where you have to use it and get used to it, or used to its feeling. So when the sludge villain attacks, he is able to hear it immediately and turns around and sends a powerful kick at the sludge villain. This wouldn't be able to hurt the sludge villain, but with the wind pressure the kick brought along with it, he was able to push away the sludge villain. Izuku quickly analyzed his opponent and thinks, my regular attacks aren't going to work, but he does have eyes that I might be able to attack. If I time it right, I can knock him out with a strong wind pressure. But this is going to take a lot out of me. Either way, Izuku gets ready to attack again. But have no fear, as All Might is here. And he knocks out the sludge villain with an extremely strong wind pressure. And he knocks out the villain with a strong wind pressure that he sent at the villain as in the original. When he looks at Izuku, who was originally ready to fight, he was quite impressed at how Izuku was able to protect himself until he arrived. Of course, seeing All Might, Izuku would still fanboy out and ask for an autograph. But unlike in the original, he doesn't jump on All Might, so All Might doesn't drop the bottle containing the sludge villain. As said though, Izuku would still want to join UA, and the teacher would still mention this, but since Bakugo respects Izuku, he doesn't make fun of him, but he is irritated about it. But just like Bakugo, I'm irritated how only 5.3% of you guys that are watching my videos are subscribed. Like, come on. If you like the video and my other content, hit the subscribe button. Now back to the story. So, comes the 9 months before the entrance exam, Izuku would actually be making sure to, of course, study as well as build up his body. But he would mainly focus on his stamina, meaning that he would do endurance training. He would also upgrade the software for his equipment. I would say that after Izuku trains for 9 months, he would be able to last for about 1 hour for a normal session. But then again, the upgrades that he made allows this to be updated as well. So in total, Izuku can use his equipment for about 9 hours a day and 2 hours a session. Pretty much meaning that in one day, including 30-minute breaks in between, he can use his equipment for about 4.5 times before he'll be too exhausted. UA entrance exam. Izuku gets there on time and is so hyped for what the test is going to be. Well, he maybe is too hyped up because he is so distracted that he was about to fall face first into the ground until he is stopped in mid-air. This is of course just like in the original thanks to Ochako. After this encounter, everything would play out as in the original, as Izuku wouldn't be causing noise, and now it's time for us to get to the actual exam. Izuku activates his equipment, which he now named Conqueror Breaker, or what we'll refer to as Sea Breaker for short. When he activates it, he dashes out, dusting a few people along the way. Unlike in the original, Izuku is able to score quite a few points. He reaches as far as 65 points, and the staff that are watching this are just wondering what his quirk is. When the 0-point robot enters the fray, he knows that he can't take it head on. Though when he sees Ochako under the rubble, he activates Sea Breaker's newest function, L Breaker form. Its name means Limit Breaker. What the equipment does is, instead of stimulation, it fully enhances every part of his body, but only for 5 minutes, as it will tear at his body if he tries to use it a little bit more than that. He dashes at newfound speeds, going at 95 miles per hour, and he then jumps 50 stories to reach the 0 Point robot's face. He then punches it with full power, which is like hitting it with around 300 tons of weight. This won't be enough to destroy it, but it will jam itself in and malfunction. This would allow Izuku to have enough time to save Ochako. Also, you must be wondering how he can land easily. You see, L-Breaker mode allows him to do superhuman feats with ease, but after 5 minutes are up, he starts to tear up his muscles. He would be healed by recovery group after, by the ways. So just like in the original, he would be accepted into UA, and unlike in the original, it would turn out that he got first place in the exams. He did pretty well in the written portion and got the same results there. As for the physical portion, he would have 70 points from taking down robots and 65 points from rescuing Ochako. And in total, he would have 135 points, surpassing Bakugo by 58 points. We skip to our first day of school. As in the original, Bakugo is arguing with Ida, and Ida would still talk with Izuku and compliment him as well as thanking him. All around, things play out as in the original until the ball test, or the ball throw. Pretty much the quirk assessment test. Unlike in the original, Izuku doesn't need to break his bones at all and just activates his Sea Breaker. Also, in case you're wondering, no Aizawa or anyone would expect this to be his equipment. No one would actually know about his equipment and just think of his equipment as pieces of his clothing. Well, that's until they see it light up and Izuku throw the ball 630 meters. Everyone was surprised, and then Aizawa asked the most important question. What are those pieces of clothing, really? Izuku is hesitant, but knows he must answer, and he tells them that this is a booster equipment that he worked on with his friend. Aizawa accepts this and tells Izuku to lighten up, as in the real world, they won't have time to always put on special grade equipment, so it's good that he's always prepared. Everyone but Bakugo let this go, as Bakugo is angered how Izuku held back on him. As said though, Izuku passes each part of the test pretty easily and did fairly good on all of them. In total, he actually got 5th place, unlike in the original, where he got 20th. And just like in the original, Aizawa tells them that no one's getting kicked out and that this was just to make people, try their hardest. Now, Izuku is an official student at UA High School. What tribulations or tests must he go through next? We'll see on the next part of What If Izuku Stayed Quirkless. I hope you guys loved this What If. I actually did work pretty hard on it. I feel as if in some points I could have done better on the story writing, and I'm not gonna lie everyone, even while telling this What If, I feel as if I did pretty bad on grammar or just all around speech. So I apologize to you guys if I was stuttering too much or if I screwed up or slurred on my words way too much, everyone. I apologize, alright? But now to tell you guys the like goal. The like goal for this video will be 15 likes. So if you guys can reach 15 likes, part 2 will be released. Now, with that being said, everyone, please subscribe if you're new. Comment down below any suggestions, thoughts, or even critique along its proper critique. And with that being said, everyone, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah. I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see, yeah.